Hello everyone and welcome to another Star Wars figure review. Today we're going to take a look at another figure from the Black Series 6-inch line, and in today's review we're going to take a look at the brand new figure to be released of the smooth-talking smuggler turned Cloud City administrator, none other than Lando Calrissian. As I mentioned, this figure is hot off the press. Only in the last few weeks has this one been released, and as always, if you want to add this one to your own collection, there is a link down below in the video description which will take you to staractionfigures.co.uk, where at the time of filming this review he's in stock and available to buy. Although, like with a cold Colt 45, he's probably not going to hang around for long, so make sure you grab him while you can. Before we take a look at this figure in more detail, let's take a quick look at the packaging that this guy comes in. Once again, we do get the standard Black Series packaging design with this one. Although, I'm getting a little bit bored of this design, if I'm being brutally honest. I don't know whether that's because we've been spoiled with the recent 40th anniversary vintage cards, or whether or not this packaging design is just in need of a refresh. We've seen the black and red packaging design now for about 18 months. I think this made its debut when the Force Awakens products hit. So I think it's time for a refresh. Once you've seen one of these boxes, you've really seen them all. There's nothing much different going on in terms of the design. You've got the Black Series logo featured at the top and some very cool artwork of Lando down in the bottom corner. On the side of the box you've got the number in the series, and then on the back you've got the Black Series logo once again, the number at the top there, and a brief description of the character and the artwork just off to the side. So decent packaging, but again could be a little bit more exciting. Definitely needs updating. So with packaging aside, let's take a look at the figure that we get inside it, and this one does not disappoint. This figure is definitely a must-have for the collection. He's been a glaring omission from the Black Series 6-inch line for as long as it's been on the go. I think the Black Series debuted in 2013, and in my opinion this should have been one of the very first figures released, but it's taken us the best part of 4 years to get to this point. So, you know, as long as it's taken us to get Lando, I suppose in a way, hindsight being 2020, it's good that we waited because the figure came out great. Hasbro have done an absolutely incredible job with the likeness. The overall sculpt and execution of the figure is really nice indeed, and I just can't find anything negative to say about this guy. He's a really nice figure. First and foremost, we will run through articulation and then we'll touch base on some of the accessories that he comes with. Firstly, he does feature a ball joint and a hinge at the neck, so you can look up, down, all around. We've got ball hinges at the shoulders, elbows and wrists. A ball joint at the torso, which as you can see is located in the sort of lower abdomen. Quite a glaring articulation point. It really does stand out quite a bit, but at the same time it blends in with the creases and folds of the shirt, which is, you know, not a bad thing at all. We also have ball hinges at the hips, swivels at the upper thigh, double joints in the knees, and a double joint and a pivot at the ankle. Now I don't know whether this is just my sample, but the ankles on this figure I've found are very tight, and it's really difficult to get the ankles in a position where they're smooth to the ground and the figure doesn't topple over. So let me, you know, guys, if you've had the same issue, let me know. Leave a comment down below. Does your Lando figure fall over all the time? Has he had too many Colt 45s? Leave a comment, let me know your experiences. So articulation wise, he's pretty much on the money. You know, we really don't tend to expect much more from the Black Series 6-inch line, and he packs all the relevant articulation that we need with this figure. As I mentioned earlier on in the review, the likeness to Billy D. Williams is absolutely spot on. I think Hasbro have done a great job not only with the sculpt but also with the paint applications on this one as well. As you'll have seen from any of my recent reviews, some of the paint applications on Hasbro's faces tend to be a little bit hit and miss, but this one is really good. The paint applications around the eyes are really nice and crisp, the moustache and the eyebrows are nicely applied, and the paint finish on the hair is really nice, and the sculpt is spot on, as you can see. Really does capture the look and overall likeness of Lando or Billy D. Williams really well. So I am very impressed with the overall look of this figure. I love the colour of the shirt as well, the pants as well. Great likeness. Really does look as though this one just jumped right off the screen. As you can see, in terms of accessories, he does come with a Rebel blaster, which is a fantastic sculpt, and I believe it's the same blaster that is set for release with the Death Squad Commander in wave 2 of the 40th anniversary 6-inch figures. He also comes with what I believe to be one of the smallest accessories we've seen with a 6-inch figure so far, and that's the little microphone that he uses on Cloud City. And if I'm remembering this correctly, I haven't seen Empire for quite a while, then it's the microphone that he uses to put a call out that says, you know, Cloud City needs to be evacuated due to the Imperial occupation. What I really like about this figure as well is the fact that sculpted onto the cufflink there is the little wrist communicator that Lando uses to tap into Lobot's cybernetic headpiece, which is a really nice addition, something they didn't really have to include. I don't think many of us would have pointed it out if they hadn't, but the fact that it's there really does show that Hasbro are paying a lot of attention to these outfits and to these characters when creating these figures. Finally, he does come with his trademark gold-lined cape, which is a plastic piece. I must admit, plastic capes on figures such as this really do tend to annoy me. Figures such as Captain Phasma and Director Krennic, in my opinion, were huge letdowns because of the plastic capes. Figures like that would have worked so much better if they were soft goods, but with this figure it works really well. It just sits over the shoulder and the overall sculpt is absolutely spot on. It's got this nice drape look to it, and as you can see, the gold linen inside just looks fantastic. There's some great detail on there. It's a really nice finish, and it really does make this figure stand out on a shelf. It is of course removable. As I said, it just slides over the shoulder, and if you remove the cape then you get a much better look at the costume underneath. So all in all, this is a great figure, one that I highly recommend adding to the collection, especially if you're a fan of the original trilogy. As I mentioned at the beginning of the review, you know, this figure should have been one of the first released when the Black Series kicked off, so the fact that he's finally here is absolutely awesome, and I can't recommend this figure enough. So as always, if you want to add this guy to your collection, hit the link in the video description. So thank you for watching this review, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will be back with some more very soon. I've got a really cool figure from episode 4, A New Hope, to give you a look at in my next video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And until next time, as always, thank you for watching, keep collecting, and may the Force be with you.